Today is a big project day. We're installing a tablet. So to give you guys a little overview before we start this video and install, this is a Winbook TW802 tablet. I got it from microcenter.com. Basically it's a cheap $75 Windows 8 tablet and had all the things I need, which was 2 gigs of RAM, full-size USB, and that's pretty much it. A few other bits I needed for hardware was like a 90-degree USB connector, 90-degree micro USB connector, a DC to DC power adapter so I can charge the tablet, and well as a 4-port USB hub with switches, so I was able to disconnect the power between the tablet and the ECU. Basically, give a little warning before you guys get too far in this video is that I have an Abtronic ECU, so anyone that's using Megasquirt, this is probably not going to work for you, but the installation is going to be pretty universal. That's pretty much it, so let's go to the install.
Alright guys, so I showed you guys what you need, I showed you how to do it, so basically now what I'm going to do is show you the creativity I need to do to permanently install this tablet into my Tombstone. So the problem right away, it looks like, obviously, is these support beams in the Tombstone, all this. I'm not 100% sure how I'm going to do it, so obviously take a Dremel tool or something, but I'm trying to figure out a way to permanently install this, as well as make sure it stays on. I had a few other people say, oh well, you can use Velcro, but the problem is there's not a lot of mounting position in here. So it looks like the tablet itself, when you hold it up to the actual thing, will fit in there. Obviously the gaps can be filled. I'm just trying to see if it'll slip through there, which it will barely fit through. So there's a possibility I could actually trim out this entire thing to the specs of this tablet and have it completely flush mounted if I want to. That would probably be one of the easier styles, but another thing I could do is take out all this stuff. So to be honest, I'm not going to show you guys because every tablet's going to be different. So I'm going to show you guys what I did after I'm done, but it shouldn't be too bad. I can probably give you guys a little explanation. It really comes down just to your own self-creativity. Okay guys, as you can see right there, I had to make some revisions in the plastic. We were using these 90-degree USB connectors, so this one will sit right there, so we just gave each other as much room as possible. These connectors actually are they're like $4 on eBay. They come in a 2-pack like that. Give you a little what they originally look like. So they're just called 90-degree USB connectors, so obviously it's one connector like that, and then the other one has an end like that that goes inside there. There's a left and a right one, so one that goes that way and one that goes that way. So for mine, I need to use the one that goes up, or the one that goes down, so that I have access to my micro USB to use for charging. So I use this, and basically what I did to give myself as much clearance as possible is shave down all the rubber. I just used a Dremel tool. Luckily I didn't break the connector or anything, so that perfectly sits in there. Another thing I'm waiting on is the exact same piece but for a micro USB, since I have to mount this power supply, so that basically what this is going to do, like a radio, is whenever I turn the car into the accessory switch, this will charge it, and obviously this piece will not fit in there. For mounting, I'll show you guys here now, is I have this piece right here. The other one broke, of course, but I basically got these things JB welded onto there. This actually works pretty good. I also got some Velcro strips around the side and then some Velcro onto the tablet as well. That helps it just stick in there. It's not the best. I wouldn't rely just on Velcro, but another piece that I'm using to mount it is this. Oh my God. This piece right here, it's just plumber's tape, so it'll just go right across there and it'll slip right back onto this piece like so, and then once you tighten down with one of these wing nuts, not too tight because that's how I broke the last one, JB weld, this comes right off. It actually sits in very well, which I'll show you right now. Alright guys, so everybody's gonna have a different plan. I won't rely strictly on what I'm doing right here to mount it, but I'll show you what I'm doing. So basically there's a little lip here from the original Tombstone that I just kind of like slide it against right there, and then I, you know, let the Velcro do its job. And then when I have this stuff on there, you can kind of just let it sit right over like that. Find your wing nut, and then basically the wing nut can just, I mean, you don't have to use a wing nut. I just like the wing nut because then basically the only thing I need is a screwdriver to get this thing off, which I mean by the Tombstone itself. So there we go. And then just tighten it down to whatever pressure. You don't want to do it too tight, but just enough where it's really going to nice and, you know, not feel like it's going to break. So like right there, when you feel it getting tight, that's when you should stop. The tablet, what it does, it pushes this edge down, pushes this edge down, so that it looks very, very clean on the front side, like so. Alright guys, can't really do the best view because I don't really have my tripod out here, but I'll just give you kind of an overview of what you need to do. So obviously, you know, if you do it right the first time, it should just be plopped right in. So do a little test fit. This connector is always in the way, so just kind of give it some leeway there. So I noticed that the top edge is going in good. I noticed there's some little struggle here. And if I look right into there, where the cruise control is, right in here, the wing nut and then the bolt itself is actually interfering with the cruise control area. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to have to notch out a little bit of the cruise control square. Alright guys, now that it's all in, what I had to do here is, I'll show you, is I had to excuse me, shave down this part right there, just very, very faintly, so that I can make sure that the bolt right there is able to fit in there good. I also took off this bolt mainly because it really doesn't need it, and it's just extra room for the other nut that is used for the tablet to install a little more flush. Everything in the top half goes good, but when I have this piece in here like that, which goes across there for the tablet, this connector right down here doesn't look like it's really, you know, that's what I'm confused about. It looks like it's just a little hole that goes through there. This piece right here, it's really sharp though. This piece goes onto this part of it, so that holds it in very tight. Plus there's two screws on the sides right here. So I don't really see there being a problem if I just shave this down or cut this off here, just so that I'm able to mount it. Most likely cut this off because I'm using this hole as a mounting hole. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to shave it on this piece right here, and then we should be able to install the tablet pretty much completely. Alright guys, so now we're in the car right now. What we're here to do is to try to figure out a power source so that I don't have to keep taking the tablet in and out to charge it. So the thing I have here is, this is all the wiring and power. Alright guys, so now we're back in the car. Here is all the wiring for my wideband sensor, which is in my glove box, which is right below there. The thing about the widebands, if you guys ever put one in, there's obviously a power and a ground. So what I did here is I spliced off into the power ground. So you can see here, this is the power cable. So I just used a quick disconnect cable or connector and just kind of crimped them together. And that goes to the ECU, and this goes to the power of my charging cable. And then same thing for the ground, crimp it. That was really easy to do. If you guys don't have a wideband, if you guys are doing this, there's power supplies to the radio you could splice off. I don't really know about it, but just do your research. So, and the end result right here is our micro USB to charge the cable, which is right in the DIN area. Alright guys, now that we got the connectors and everything plugged in, so here's the two things that we really need to do, or that's necessary for this tablet install. One is the full-size USB. This goes to the ECU to get the readout, and so we can get all the information to the tablet. And then this we just put in, which is the micro USB. This connects in and just allows it to have power so that we have a fully charged tablet every time we come to the car. Another thing we got to do next, I haven't really showed detail on this. Here's the 4-port thing. So what this does, this goes into the tablet, and we have 4 ports here. As you can see, one of them's already taken by my wireless keyboard. This is so that I can pretty much just dial in or change the tablet interface by a keyboard and a mouse pad. The next port I'll probably put this one into port 2. And what you do is when you want power, you just turn it on. And then usually the tablet responds with like a beep or whatever, which it does. And then for this, here's the USB to the ECU, so I'll plug that in there. And then basically the reason why I have these buttons though is because as long as the tablet and the ECU are in connection, the tablet will stay on, which means that when the car is parked overnight, the tablet will be doing the readouts and say it's connected and on, and it will essentially kill the battery. And it's not as easy to turn the power on, even though I do have a slot for it. So basically what this is going to do is I'm going to be able to turn that off so that the power to the ECU and to the tablet will be disconnected unless I turn this button on and off. I will also have two other ports for whatever I want. Future usage for this tablet is for music player, so this will be a nice like an extension area for I can use a flash drive or something for music, but that's not important right now. Alright guys, so here's the area where that USB hub is going to be connected to. So if you guys look on your like driver's side kick panel in the center console area, you'll see a cover piece like this that goes right there. So if you pop that out, this USB hub actually perfectly fits in there, which I'll show you now. It pretty much fits almost perfect. As you can see, the buttons are overlaid just a little bit, so that's why I took my Dremel. I'm just going to trim it out just a hair, and then I'm probably going to use some double stick tape to stick it in there, as well as some type of bracing system on the back so it just sits more flush and close to it. But I think that's probably the cleanest, least destructive way to the interior to install this. So once that's done, I'll show you guys what I've done, and then we can move on to the next step. Alright guys, you can see that it pretty much perfectly fits in there exactly how I want it to. So at this point now I'm going to figure out some double stick tape wise, and then now I can perfectly access the buttons, turn them on and off when I want to. Maybe put a label maker here so I know exactly what each button does. Once that's all done and said, then we can pretty much put the tablet in and call it a day. Everything's pretty much connected into the USB hub port. I got the line from the ECU that just comes down here through there, and it goes right back in there where the USB hub is on the other side. We have the USB extension coming out, and then back here, which I'll probably mount into the center console, as well as I have my USB receiver for my wireless keyboard. So now that everything's in there, I'll show you guys what it looks like on the other side. There's the USB hub completely installed. As you can see there, I have a video or a thing that says ECU, extension, and the keyboard. If you look on the other side, all the things go into there directly. So now what I gotta do is I'm gonna install the tablet onto the Tombstone, make sure everything's settled, and then it should be ready to go. There it is. The tablet is installed completely. You know, no BS gaps or anything. All the wires are hidden underneath the tablet or behind the tablet, and the 4-port hub is right here, completely accessible. Barely noticed. So I'm gonna give you guys a little tutorial how the whole thing works. So the tablet's in sleep mode right now. So what happens is that I have the charging cable connected to the power of the wideband, which is in there. So basically, you know, once the key is in accessory, the tablet will turn on like so. So there we go right there, and the tablet is on. Alright, so as you guys can see right down there, the tablet shows that it is charging. So now the next thing to do is to make it so that this tablet isn't draining battery all the time when it's, you know, car's turned off. What I needed to do is have a connection between the ECU and the tablet, quick disconnect, which is why I bought this 4-port hub. Now next, what I said is I have the 4-port hub, so the next thing to do now that the car is on, I press my ECU button like that, turns blue. If you guys didn't hear that, the tablet recognized that the tablet and the ECU are connected via USB. So now Now the tablet and the ECU are connected. So what this will do is I can press my app, which is right there, and as you guys can see, all the dials are working. So there's my air fuel ratio, which isn't, because it's not running, my coolant temperature, battery voltage, ethanol percentage, RPMs, boost gauge with the boost gauge text thing, because these dials are a little hard to read. The left bar is my TPS percentage, and the next one is an RPM bar graph. So I will I'll start the car up, show you guys how it runs, maybe go take a little drive around and see how it works. Okay. As you guys can see there, I'll point everything out for you again. So as you can see, the bar that's going up and down, that is my gas pedal or the TPS range. So as you guys can see, I'm at about 50%, 100%, 0% obviously. Since the car's not running, most of them are not going to be operating, but they show it. So as you can see, the battery shows at 12 volts, which is actually kind of low. So I'm going to give you guys a little overview of what else I have. So for this thing, it's a Windows tablet, and Windows tablets have been known to be kind of sucky because their interface isn't really built for tablets very well. So what I did is I bought one of these, which is the Logitech K400R keyboard with a touchpad. It's a wireless one, as you guys noticed on the 4-port thing. I have one that says key on it, so when I press key, you can see that it's connected. And then turn the tablet on, and as you guys can see right there, I have my mouse. So what I can do with this interface is anywhere in this black range that's open, I can right click, and I have the option to add a dial gauge, add a bar gauge, or add a text gauge. So let's add a bar gauge. We have multiple functions we can use here. One is engine speed, or map sensor, manifold air temperature, coolant temperature, aux temperature, narrowband air fuel ratio, knock. I mean, it's just an endless amount of things you can do with this. So let's say the one I don't have is manifold air temperature, and I don't believe my sensor works, but as you can see, you can pick sizes from small to extra large. That's just like a preset size, so there we go right there. As you guys can tell, it's too small, but as you can do, you can drag it around and make it different size. So if you find it right there, I can tell you can make it wider, and then if I find the edge right here, I can make it taller, and then there we go right there. So that's all there. So it's Fahrenheit, which is completely wrong. My sensor's a little goofy right now for air temperature, but there you can do it. You can drag and hold. It's a little easier. That's why I bought the tablet or this keyboard thing, so it's easier to change everything. So basically everything you guys can see, you have the option between a bar gauge, a dial gauge, and a text gauge. So that's all there. So we'll go on a little drive, show you guys how it works. As you guys can see right here in the middle, that's my RPM. So as you can see, there's boost. That's the boost pressure temp. So you guys can see the vacuum rising when I gas it. Here's my air fuel ratio, which is about a little rich right now because we're warming up. You can see the RPMs rise up. You can see the temperature is about at 130, so we'll let it warm up a little bit. Battery voltage is at 14.8. Ethanol percentage is a little low at 69%. I got some pretty shitty 85 in here right now. So yeah, you can see the RPMs are rising. And what's cool about this program, guys, it's completely programmable. So if you guys think this is confusing, you guys can make, you know, pretty much anything you want. And it's your whole imagination is, you know, freedom on this piece. So it's pretty cool. As you can see there, went up to about 3 psi, which is nice. It actually is accurate with my actual boost gauge, so that's pretty nice. Once I'm all said and done, what I do is I go down to my 4-port, turn off the thing. So as you can see right here, it's gonna cut out. and then I can turn the car off. So now the thing's not drawing power. So what I do here is I can go to settings and put in sleep mode. Now if I want to shut it down, you could, but the problem though there is I would have to go to the power button, which is right here. I cut out a little hole so that I'm able to access it with a safety pin to turn it on and off. But you know, leaving in sleep mode, I drive the car every day and it charges, so it's really no big deal. So guys, there's my tablet install. If you guys have any questions about it, if I didn't, you know, answer in the video, let me know. I'm pretty happy with how this thing's set up. I probably, you know, once I have more information on doing the GPS software as well as the music player, I will show you guys an update video on this. But for now, you know, that's exactly what I expected and wanted from this tablet install. So thanks for watching Minnesota Car Culture, guys. Like I said, if you have any questions, please let us know. And thanks for watching.